And hello, Panagiotis Christias. I'm here on behalf of Chamber of Achaia of Greece. We are the lead partner of EcoNautiNET Project and EcoNautiNET Plus Project. And firstly, I would like to transfer to all of you and to all the participants the greetings from our board of directors and our legal representative, Mr. Marlafekas Platon, and then we would like also to transfer you that we are very happy for our collaboration during all these years, and not only as a chamber, but also as an entity, and the board of directors and the legal representative surely wants to have future cooperation, potential future cooperation with all of you. Now I'm going to make a short presentation about our project. Initially, we have implemented the EcoNautiNET project together with our partners from Croatia, that is Dura. This is the Chamber of Pula, and is from Slovenia is of course the University of Zagreb, which is also the disposition of the technical specifications, the technical part, and the platform. His support and his contribution was very helpful, as all of the partners. And then is in the partnership consists of also Copper from Slovenia, and CNA Ravenna from Ravenna, Italy, and the Chamber of Tirana. The initial idea was to manage to create a network between business supporters organizations, research institutes, public bodies, and SMEs in the sector of blue growth and blue economy and the nautical sector, in order to be able to enhance their sustainability and their innovation, and also to create a joint management system in order to be able to monitor all this situation. And the platform that is constituted is developed by the University of Zagreb, in which all the potential members of the EcoNautiNET network can be registered. We have also at least 200 SMEs and business support organizations already registered in the platform, and the number is growing because we are running also EcoNautiNET Plus project. And this is the main issues regarding the first project. The managing authority, after the implementation, the finalization of the project, took the decision, because the implementation of the project was of a high level and the contribution of the partners, to give us opportunity to have also a second small scale project, capitalization project, in order to be able to enhance and valorize and improve the results and the deliverables of the EcoNautiNET, the mother EcoNautiNET project, and they gave us the opportunity to submit and implement EcoNautiNET Plus project with a very short duration. We have a duration of 6 months now. The project until the one occasion of project extension that is under discussion is finalizing to the end of June. It's starting from the 1st of January 2022, and with the same partnership. And of course, lead partner is again the Chamber of Achaia, and every partner has its role in the implementation of this project. The main scope, as I said, is to be able to improve and to be able to enhance the tools and the deliverables of the first project. And I think we are in a very high level of achievement. And now the project is finalizing. Tomorrow we are here for the conference. Today we are here for the conference. Tomorrow we have the final project meeting, and for the closure, the project closure. Now that's all by my side. I don't know if someone is interested in asking something, and then I want to pass the speech and the floor to Professor Duits from the University of Zagreb. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you for coming here. Sit here, is it okay? Where? Okay. Okay. Okay, I would like to welcome you all to Zagreb. The pity is that we are not on the Adriatic Sea, but very close to it. Croatia has a very long tradition of maritime activities. We are now using it for our main economic sector, which is tourism, but we would like to use it more for green energy, blue energy, and also rekindling our long tradition is in shipbuilding. I would like to open this now event, and we will have today three sections. The first one on eco-innovation and research on zero-emission vehicles and sustainability in maritime sector. The second one on blue energy sector, and the third one on networks and competitiveness. We are also now in the process, or European Union is now in the process of putting into force a new legislation on maritime transport. It's called Fuel EU Maritime, and I would like to give a few hints what is probably in the package. It's still, I think, not completely finalized. Now it's in this three-parted negotiations, and there will be probably some smaller changes still. But the main lines are on the following. Okay. So one of the important parts of the package says that from 2030, all the ships, I think bigger than 5,000 tons, will have to be connected to the power supply. And use electricity coming from the grid, which means that no more diesel engines running in ports. This is going to be a great change because it means we will have to implement quite a lot of new infrastructure in ports. We have 8 years still left, but this is quite a big investment we have to think about. So we have to see what is the best business model for this big change, how this will be integrated into the power system. We are talking about quite big powers of connection. Also, there will be obligation for each ship to reduce annual average greenhouse gas emissions used for the energy on board, starting from 25 by 2% from the baseline of 2020, and then moving to 6% in 2030, 13% in 35, 26% in 40, 50%, 45, 75% in 2050. That will be like that for all European, intra-European shipping, but for the international shipping with the third countries, there will be a need to achieve 50% of these goals. So this is a big thing for shipping companies. We know that they were operating quite outside of any legislation for a long time, and now we are trying to regulate their work, their way of life. We don't want to lose competitivity. European shipping wants to stay competitive. That is why we are not going to implement this obligation on fuel suppliers, but on ships coming to European ports. So shipping companies will be responsible for compliance. Doesn't matter under which flag they fly. The new fuel standards would apply to ships using fuels bought within EU, but also to fuels purchased outside of EU. That means that this legislation will have a huge impact on the global market, because I guess that shipping companies will not decide to avoid European Union because we are the biggest market in the world. So we are going to have an important impact on the global shipping with this legislation. What are the fuels that are coming? From one side, those are biofuels and biogas in various forms, bioethanol, biodiesel, vegetable oils, bio-LNG coming from biogas, or bio-hydrogen. Those are possible biogenic sources of fuels, which could be either mixed into the existing fuels, or they could be used in part of the ship systems. Or renewable fuels of non-biologic origin and recycled carbon fuels. These should be made of electricity, of renewable electricity in principle, and they will be only counted as renewable up to a point that national electricity mix is renewable. Croatian one is quite renewable. So Croatia has a huge potential here. We can be one of the countries that produce those e-fuels. Norway is certainly a leading market for that. So we should probably think about cooperating with them. They have already started in this pathway. Or electricity could be covered by green certificates. We have a very good market of green certificates since we have a lot of renewable electricity. So this is an option to buy only green electricity on the markets, or it can be from dedicated renewable production. And those fuels are e-diesel, e-methanol, e-LNG, e-hydrogen, or e-ammonia. And of course, electricity. And in my humble opinion, I think electricity will be very important in near-shore shipping. These will most probably be mostly electrical, small boats, touristic boats, ferries, anything that goes less than a few hours in one go. This can be electrified using renewable electricity. Anything that will go longer, so intercontinental shipping, long distance cargo shipping, will have to go with some kind of fuels. So I think there is a huge scope for new ideas, and we should think how to include local communities in these new supply chains, ports, shipping companies, in order to make European and global shipping green. Thank you very much.
Joining us today here. So my name is Laura Frkovic, and I work at the Center of Technology Transfer. That's the company owned and established by the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering and Naval Architecture. And today I would like to present you ZEV Innovation Project, which is funded by EEA and Norway grants. The projects, so let's start with the content. I will talk about the fund which is funding the project, about the partners, about the background of the project, about the trends and innovation in the maritime world, about the aims of our project, about our hub, pilot programs, services, and some activities that we were working on during the project. So first of all, EEA and Norway grants fund for regional cooperation. So that's the fund by Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway. The fund is worth 36 million euros, and it's funding projects all around Europe. In 2020, 2018, we applied our project, and within 700 applications, our project passed, and we received a grant of 1.6 million euros to conduct activities considering maritime electrification. So who are the partners on the project? We, Center of Technology Transfer, we are the lead partner on this project, and we are conducting it. So we are coordinating and managing all the activities which are happening. On the project, we have also 4 other partners: Baltic Sea and Space Cluster from Poland, Innovatie and Razvoj from Zagreb, and 2 expertise partners from Norway, which are very important partners for us because we want to transfer the knowledge from Norway to Croatia and Poland. And these 2 partners are OKP and Winco Innovation. So what is the background of the project? As already we heard in the presentation from Professor Dujic, maritime world needs to change. The proposals and regulations are becoming stricter and stricter, and we need to find new solutions. Each year, the International Maritime Organization publishes a report which brings some numbers. And in 2018, the maritime world emitted almost 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide, and it was responsible for approximately 2.5% of greenhouse gas emissions. So we know that we need to change. Also, the emission control areas, they were also established. These areas restrict the sulfur content in fossil fuel, and some ships cannot pass through that areas if they do not use low sulfur content fuel. So what are the trends and innovations in maritime world? We see that the shipping is moving to electrification with batteries or with solutions with hydrogen. Norway is a leader in this field, and I will also show you what we have seen there in Norway. We went to Bergen. I will show you what they have developed already. We also have some few examples in Croatia. Zagreb, a startup from Zagreb, ICAT, developed an all-electric catamaran which sails in the national park Mljet. And also we Center of Technology Transfer also applied for a few proposals to electrify few ferry lines with the same company ICAT. And now I want to show you what is what are the numbers in the battery megawatt hour capacity of those ships. So for example, a cruiser which transfers a ferry which transfers 1,500 passengers and 500 vehicles has a 50 megawatt hour battery capacity, and that is not for all electric work. This large ro-ro passenger cruise needs to use the diesel engines. But when we look at the ferry Ellen, one great Danish project which has 4.3 megawatt hour battery capacity, this passenger ferry can transfer 200 passengers and 30 vehicles by all-electric propulsion system. It uses 4.3 megawatt-hour batteries and can sail to up to 22 nautical miles. Here are some fields of which are popular by startups in 2022. So artificial intelligence, clean energy, energy efficient integrations, maritime robotics, maritime Internet of Things, blockchain, big data, cybersecurity, 5G. These are some of the fields that are important and that have the possibility to be innovative. Because when you look at the ship which is electrified with the battery, that concept is not innovative. That is not innovation. We need to find something more innovative that has more potential, and we need to keep that. What are the aims of the Innovation Project? So we want to organize a digital platform which will occupy people interested in electrification of maritime transport. What are the target groups? Target groups of our project are small and medium-sized enterprises, innovators, and also academia and people who are working on research and development. The concept of our Innovation Hub is to have a company showcase, a forum, innovation, technology showcase, resources, news, events, and collaboration. So on our company showcase, we want that companies from Croatia and Poland, and also from Norway, apply, register, and describe what are they doing. On the technology showcase, they can upload their materials and describe the products, technologies that they have. On the forum, they can discuss about the new innovations, new ideas in the maritime world. Also, we will fill our resources in our library with new contents, new documents, new regulatives that are important for them. And now we are coming to the innovation part. This is very important for our project, and this is the core of our project, to help the companies from Croatia and Poland to develop their ideas from the beginning of the idea to the final project. So the hub started in March 8, 2022. Currently, we have 50 registered users, 36 companies, and 10 applied ideas, 5 from Poland, 5 from Croatia. The aim, as I said, is to help and support these companies to prepare their ideas and to develop some final product which can be also patented at the end of the project. We need to have 2 patent applications at the end. So we are now reducing this 5 companies from Croatia, 5 from Poland, to 4, 2 from Croatia, 2 from Poland, and they will receive mentorship from our side. We will hire companies, external companies, which will help us to support these innovators. And currently, we have meetings, face-to-face meetings with these companies to understand what these companies actually need, because not each company needs the same thing. So basically, some services which we have defined are market analysis, networking, internationalizations, legal advice and intellectual property rights, legal advising, technology advising, financing, and business support. So basically, I will now go to the part which is interesting, how to apply on our platform. I invite you all to apply. You can register on zevinnovation.eu/hub. You can create your profile. You can create a profile of your own, your personal profile, and the profile of your company. And then if you have an idea, you can submit it to the innovation segment, and you need to describe your idea, describe what solutions your idea solves, and then we will evaluate your idea. And if the idea is good, you will pass to the phase 2. So the hub is mainly aimed, the target group is innovators and small and medium-sized enterprises, because our support is aimed towards them. Currently, the one good example that we had, the phase one, during last 1.5 years, I was traveling to Croatia on nautic boat shows, contacting companies and trying to find those one that are interested in doing something in the field of electrification. There are not many companies in Croatia who do that kind of work. But luckily, we find 5 companies from Croatia that are actually working on good projects, and we managed to bring them on board of our project. And on the first ZEV Innovation Workshop in Norway that were happening 2 weeks ago in Bergen, there were 6 Norway companies that are really well developed and already have products and working in the maritime electrification field. That was Corvus Energy, Greenstat, Arena Pro, Evoy, Plug, and Kongsberg. This, when you compare them to our companies, they're really giants. They're big companies, and but I want to stress out that our companies are great, and they have the know-how. They know how to work, and some of them which were there are Novatec, Prorato Silfin, Marservice, Maritime Center of Excellence, and Adriatec. These companies applied their ideas on our hub, and now we are trying to find and define what support they need and how we are going to help them. What is very interesting, considering the FuelEU proposal and the electrification of ports about the power supply, in Norway they already have that in the port of Bergen, because they had issues with the carbon dioxide emissions in Bergen, and they find solution how to do it. So Plug and Zenus company developed let's say smart port, which is currently offering just a power supply for cruisers and ships. So we all know that Norway has a lot of hydropower, and they already achieved electrification in road transport. All of them are driving electric vehicles, and now they are trying to do it also in the shipping industry. And they did it successfully for this port, because all cruisers that come, they connect to the power cable. They have the electricity to have all the demand of the ship covered by clean energy. So here we can see battery storage that is storing energy and supplying it when ships connect. We are seeing the connectors. The connectors are pretty big. They are like 5 times the size of a hand, so that are really big connectors and cables. The operators are also educated. They know how to work with these installations with cables, how to connect these ships, and that is also one of the field which is important to have the people and the workers who know how to do it. They also need to be educated. So the next phase of the project is to continue work with these 5 companies from Croatia, to help them to find what they actually need, to find how and what we can offer them, and to help them to develop their products, and to finally have an idea, have a product that can be patentable and which can go to the patent application. Thank you for listening to me and for coming today here on this session. I would like to once again thank you, the organizers, for inviting me, for presenting. Here are my contacts, and all information about the project and about the company are listed here. You will have the presentation, I think, after the session. You can also check all the companies, because they are connected with the hyperlink, so you will find more information about them. Thank you.
Hello, course, I would thank the organizers for inviting us to present. I will present today our investigation, the results from few projects. They are connected to the environmental and economic assessment of mariculture system using a high share of renewable energy sources and eco-friendly short sea transportation. There are several projects that are currently being implemented. We have the green modular passenger vessel for Mediterranean, which is connected to the short sea shipping transportation of passengers. Then we have the sector adaptive virtual early warning system for marine pollution that aims to develop mobile applications and an early warning system to be implemented in different parts of the Mediterranean. Then we have the Network of Fishermen Organization and Research Institution and the Research Center for Intelligent, Innovative, Environmentally Friendly and Sustainable Mariculture. For the introduction, I'll present short and what type of assessment and that use in our education. Then we have aquaculture, where water quality and agriculture and short use. The next stage is several effective figures of their water. For instance, land-based ocean accounts for 8% of marine pollution. The aquaculture practices plus aquaculture are sources of marine pollution present close to also access to the also and also we have vaccination and environment program estimated in 2006 that areas where marine pollution Today, 90% of the major also emissions from the air and from the ocean also create ocean global emissions 330 million of marine pollution. These emissions are projected to rise to 210%. Also, the emissions are raised to 41% and also because of that, several applications and agreements are created and frame within the global area. Several local events to above the international level and conservation entails economic, social, and technical transformation in every sector. We have one method of assessment to investigate the environmental impact and both in the region. We also use life cycle cost assessment, which includes investment cost, fuel cost, maintenance cost, and all of the life cycle assessment is detailed. From base then the conservation how to answer the question. So marine pollution has several data marketplace and normally all species of marine biodiversity and concentrated which are connected to the water quality. Basically, national project aimed at tackling environmental sustainability and preserving ecosystem. The first step of the project was installing a method of long-term consumer, which made several installation. The center was installed in the mountain. Okay. We also developed a mobile application named Sea Viewers, and the beta will soon be issued via Google Play, which will be used by the general public. When somebody sees the pollution issue, they can take a photo, name the location, and the info will enter the database. The real-time data will be set on a CView server, and it will be used to develop an innovative early warning system for preventing and managing marine pollution from various sources. The final step is developing an action plan for the amendment of national and regional strategies for enhancing marine environmental protection. On this slide, we have some examples of the measurements, so we can see in the different periods of time how the parameters change. As you said, a developed web-based platform that was based on the installation of probes was used to system, and the system can be also used in the development part. By implementing other technical and operative measures, the amount of shipping can be reduced. The first step in the optimized farm was changing the fishing vessel and the cages and the barge, which had the feeding system, storage, cooling all on the fishing vessels, by optimizing it with a two-part system, which had a barge, which had a feeding system, storage, and all working at. It's powered by turbines and we also have a boat that is in this case used only for transportation of stuff, which enabled it to be powered only by electric energy. Therefore, we created an alternative aquaculture farm with efficiency and profit growth, emission reduction, cost reduction, or slowly carbon footprint. Hybrid systems. But that is power system, battery powered, and PV cells battery powered ship. The decarbonization of the inlet waterway vessel can be achieved with their full electrification. With implementation of renewable energy sources, the emissions are even lower. With the application of PV cells battery power ship, the carbon footprint can be reduced for around 49% for cargo ships. For example, for the ship which operates between ports and turbines, ports in Croatia, and to two different types of power. For 93%. The LCD highlighted the D0, so the fully electrified shift, as the most cost-effective, with 46% lower cost in comparison to the D100 scenario. The methanol power system, we have fossil methanol as an environmentally friendly option compared to a diesel-powered ship with 51% lower CO2 equivalent emissions. But compared to biomethanol, which is produced from forest residue, it presents the most ecological option among analyzed. It is the biomethanol is used as a ship fuel, resulted in the 92% lower CO2 emissions. Fossil methanol has the greatest contribution on the global warming among considered types of methanol. Now we have the fishing sector. Fisheries are specific marine sectors since there are no correct and exact the Croatian fisheries present a good starting point for this type of research since the Croatia has a long tradition and it's widespread through the entire coastline. The fishing fleet consists of more than 4,000 vessels and only 5% of these are first seiners. However, make 89% of catch. The majority of vessels, which are typical for the Mediterranean, private species and the fishermen show that efficiency of the creation.
Is already commercial. So the bathymetry, and later on there is the B zones, which are the floating offshore wind farms. So this has been analyzed according to the navigation routes, distance from the shore, distance from the ecosystems that are Natura 2000 protected, etc. Based on the zones that were analyzed for the exclusive economic zone, for the lab in Split that we have for the Split Dalmatia County, it was decided that we will, since it was specifically for the Split Dalmatia County, we started to analyze together with our project partners the locations of potential zones inside of the territory of the Split Dalmatia, so the territorial waters of Croatia, which would be eligible for the offshore wind farms. So this was this was the analysis done by U-Space, our partner from Italy, and it was for the zone B's, where we have the depth, so bathymetry from 80 to 140 meters, and two zones that were that are shown on the right-hand side of this right-hand side of the picture. You can see that these zones are. First one is it has an area of closely 800 square kilometers, and the second one is 260 square kilometers. Following the areas that were eligible for the offshore wind, we started with the analysis how big the possible offshore wind parks could be. And there is no, our estimation was first, the limitation was put that it would be one turbine of 6 megawatts per 3 square kilometers. This was, let's say, an input that we got from the developers from the North Sea. And then based on this, we concluded that the north area would be founded by some 265 turbines of installed capacity of over 1.5 gigawatts, and then the south area would be 34 turbines of 200 megawatts. And what was the estimated production electricity for the north side? So altogether, 4.3 terawatt hours with an average load factor of 28%. You can see here on this figure the monthly production from these offshore farms. So you can see that the blue column is for the north area and the red is for the south area. You can see that they both have similar behavior. The production is predominant in the late autumn and winter period, and then it is decreasing in spring and summer period. As said, combined, these offshore wind farms use 4.3 terawatt hours, the highest in March and December, and the lowest production in July. Okay. So when this was comparing the 2018 blue, let's say the blue deal scenario, when we compared with 2030, we can see that in this case the hydropower is the dominant resource. PV should be more exploited, not as it is now in the energy transition guidance that was issued, and that the offshore wind, as can be seen, can be a significant source of renewable energy. This was the analysis. What is shown here is only concerned the state of Dalmatia County. So if the other areas of the Adriatic Sea that were before are included, it would be a considerable, a larger amount. So what would be the share just for the split Dalmatia County of the electricity mix? So it would be, you can see that the share would, from the renewable energy sources to the primary energy sources, it will be an increase from 2018 to 2030. Okay. When looking at just the split Dalmatia County, its electric demand is 1,571 gigawatt hours. It has an installed renewable energy source capacity of over 1 gigawatt, which produces more than 3,000 gigawatt hours per year, and which is mostly hydro. You can see that already now the county is more than double of green electricity produced than it consumes. However, there is a huge demand in transport and especially in navigation sector for the energy, more than 2,000 gigawatt hours. And what is significant to know it is that seawater heat pump systems have a great potential for the decarbonization of the heating and cooling, and especially in the islands. This is especially pronounced during the summer period, where we have a lot of tourist activities and a lot of cooling needs. So it is by using the seawater heat pumps in resorts or public buildings or in heating, significant decrease in the fossil fuel use can be achieved. So that was my first presentation, and what I would, so this was for the case of Split Dalmatia County. What I would like to show you also is what we did for the Crete Islands. So you have this this paper available on the web, so it is an open source. So basically what we did, we also analyzed for different cases for Albania, for Malta, for Cyprus, for Crete Island, what would be the benefits of using the blue energy as sources for that particular cases. Why I'm showing you this, it is because for the island of Crete, they wanted to know what is the biggest capacity they could handle with the new interconnections with the mainland, because there are two: one operating and second one the EU Commission or the itself. I'm not sure what is the current situation. The whole island is connected by transmission with the mainland, Greece. One is 300 megawatts transmission system, and the other one that is being built or is already built and will be commissioned is a big one, but I'm not sure it is written here inside. And what they were interested how much of the capacity they could handle from renewable energy sources for the island. So we analyzed for the two locations where there is the best wind situation for the Crete Island, one in the northeast and one on the northwest. What would be the situation? So if you are more interested, it's an open access paper, so you can have a look at it, and everything is written there as explained how and what of the energy types, so this energy source of renewable energy sources can be used on the island, and depending on what the transmission system can handle. Okay, that's for this. If you have any questions, I am available here. If not, we will share everything. So what?
It's interesting about data.
Yeah, the Greek island was interesting because we had.
I think because mainly his position and from the different type of energies.
Exactly. And we
Wind
had,
energy, solar energy, sea also, but sea everywhere, so we can implement.
yeah, but the what is interesting for
Yes.
in case of peat, it is that there are no shallow waters. Everything is deep. So if you are going, yeah, it's in GMC and it is
So you know this,
uh,
go.
I should have went there last week.
Well,
I did not because I had some other obligations and we had a project event there.
Yes.
That will be, but it was for the
But
seawater.
because I've been many times as a kid. Okay, because you were referred to the northeast or the northwest half. Northeast is very beautiful. You don't understand with binary beaches and sort of windy. And the other side is near, let's say, tropic. Northwest is more tropic.
Yeah, but what I will show you is just the locations
Yes.
where the potential for the wind
Yes.
is the highest.
Yes. Oh. The north sides of the island.
Okay, so the next project that I am managing is related to the heat pump system, seawater heat pump system in the Adrian region, and this is there are several cases that were implemented. Several, 3 cases. One was in Alexandropolis. That was for the sport hall that was using heavy fuel oil for heating. And now there is a pilot installation of a seawater heat pump. That is, yeah.
You mean about the close portfolio?
No. It is on the side, on the seaside,
I know.
but it is some kind of a gym for
I know.
sports.
Yes, I played. Was a professional volleyball.
Okay.
And I noticed the exact location. It's seaside.
Okay, then you know where
It's an old one.
Yes,
Additional
yes.
seaside.
Okay, it's a really old one.
I know.
And because it's an old one, they were using the old
Yes, yes.
technology for the heating purposes, and now they have it.
Very
for-
good.
And
They
now
have
they,
no heat inside the
now they have an LNG there.
okay. So now they are big.
Yeah, it's an energy hub there, but we don't want to go to the fossil fuels. We are using what is already available.
Yes,
So the one in Alexandropolis, the other one in Crkvenica in Croatia. This is a hospital that's using the seawater for inside of their area for reasons. And the third one is Dubrovnik, the UNESCO protected area. You will see it on later on, which is for heating and cooling purposes inside of this UNESCO protected area. There are no outside of air conditioning systems because you have to it's a protected area, you have to have clean walls and everything. Duško, you can put the videos. So first one is from the Albanian partners that were working with us on this project.
partner in the Nerium program. It was a great opportunity for all of us to participate in this project with several mutual benefits, knowledge transfer, innovative and sustainable technology solution. Albania, represented with AKBM as a partner between other important leading partners, has gained important experience to use renewable energies in crucial sectors, especially in tourism. Albania is oriented toward tourism, and touristic capacities are concentrated on the Adriatic coast. As a part of the Nerium project, potential for seawater heat pumps in the hotels and local public buildings are a request, but on the other hand, are also a smart solution to use the advanced technologies. I believe that working inside the cluster of close neighboring countries will have additional benefit, sharing useful information and common best practices. This is an excellent opportunity to introduce new sustainable technologies to reduce energy consumption, increase the use of renewable energy source. On the other hand, it will be with a clear benefit for the region, with smart technologies to offer the best practices in local public buildings, hotel, tourism industries. Thank you.
Porti Sarandës është përfshirë në projektin Nerium në vitin 2021. Si palë në këtë projekt, ne jemi shumë të interesuar të njehemi me zhvillimet e këtij projekti, i cili ka për qëllim shfrytëzimin e energjisë së detit për realizimin e ngrohjes dhe ftojes së ambienteve. Këtë teknologjinë e njohim pasi ishte zhvilluar në vendet e rajonit tonë dhe për këtë qëllim duam ta zhvillojmë edhe në portin e Sarandës. Aktualisht po planifikojmë instalimin e pompës së nxehtësisë së ujit të detit në portin e Sarandës, gjë që nuk do të kishte ndodhur pa ndihmën dhe mbështetjen e projektit Nerium. Do të thosha se kjo iniciativë paraqet një vlerë të shtuar për projektin, duke shtrirë rezultatet e tij në të gjithë Shqipërinë si një vend që mbështet iniciativat e reja të zhvillimit të burimeve të rinovueshme të energjisë. Faleminderit.
Second one is for the Equinox case. It is a more dramatic one, but you will see it.
U sklopu Nerium projekta u specijalnoj bolnici Talasoterapije Crikvenica ugrađena je dizalica topline na more s kojom je zamijenjeno klasični sustav toplovoda na centralno grijanja na loživo ulje. Dizalice topline su uređaji za grijanje i hlađenje koji koriste obnovljive izvore energije. U našem slučaju radi se o dizalici topline na more, što znači da ona kao primarni medij koristi more koje predaje energiju, kao primarni medij predaje energiju mediju dizalice topline. Medij koji preuzme tu toplinu dalje se zagrijava i predaje u prostor, odnosno već za ono za šta dizalica topline služi. Talasoterapiji dizalica topline služi za zagrijavanje bazena, odnosno bazenske vode i za zagrijavanje potrošne tople vode. Radi se o takozvane visokotemperaturne dizalice topline koja zagrijava vodu na temperature više od 60 stupnjeva. I tako radi cijele godine i u zimskom i u ljetnom režimu. U ljetnom režimu se postiglo to da nije potrebno paliti centralno grijanje samo za potrebe grijanja potrošne tople vode, već to samostalno odrađuje ta dizalica topline. Kao takva primjenjiva je univerzalno. Konkretno ovdje se radi o dizalici topline koja za obnovljivi izvor energije koristi more, prema tome gdje god je na svim područjima uz more postoji mogućnost da se ta tehnologija primijeni. Nerium posebno nam je interesantan jer okuplja destinacije za implementaciju ovih tehnologija koje su nama slične. Radi se o Jadransko-jonskoj regiji, odnosno Mediteranu. Svi mi imamo otprilike slične klime i slične situacije i s tim u vezi slične probleme i prednosti. Zato nam je taj sudjelovanje u takvim projektima od iznimnog značenja. Dizalice topline su nova moderna tehnologija koja donosi uštede i svakako bi preporučio pogotovo za ovakve objekte i za bolnice, za hotele i sl.
And the last movie is for the Dubrovnik. I hope it will be with subtitles, the last one.
The project Cedrion has supported the development of the innovation capacity of the heat pump sector, enhancing the potential of seawater for heating and cooling in the Adriatic-Ionian area. In the framework of the project, several joint actions were developed by the 6 partners of the project, including testing of such technology in 3 pilot plants located in Greece and Croatia in public buildings. The project also established a transnational network among the actors of the sector, encouraged the collaboration between scientific actors and enterprises, and elaborated a strategy supporting the sustainable development of such sectors in the Adrian area. One of the pilot plants where the seawater pumps technology was installed is the city centre of Dubrovnik at the Rector's Palace, a World Heritage Site. The implementation of such technology supports the transition towards renewable energies, reducing the energy emissions on the environment, and on the other hand, ensures the environmental protection and preservation, thus perfectly contributing to the European Green Deal envisaged by the EC.
U sklopu projekta Sea Adrian, sufinanciranog od strane Europskog programa za međunarodnu suradnju Interreg Adrian, izvršena je zamjena postojećeg tehničkog sustava grijanja i hlađenja u Kneževu dvoru. Novim postrojenjem opskrbljuje se zgrada gradske uprave, Knežev dvor, Kino Sloboda i kazalište Marina Držića. Kroz projekt je ugrađeno 6 dizalica topline koje kao medijator koriste obnovljive izvore energije, u ovom slučaju morsku vodu, odnosno hladne griju navedeni kompleks zgrada uz pomoć morske vode. Prijašnje staro postrojenje, staro oko 40 godina, nije se održavalo te nije radilo u punom kapacitetu. Radilo je s 30% kapaciteta te mu je trebala zamjena. Uz to bilo je potrebno dogrijavanje vode što je predstavljalo dodatni trošak u radu. Novi sustav grijanja i hlađenja znatno je učinkovitiji od prethodnog sustava, smanjena je potrošnja električne energije, a ostvareno je smanjenje CO2 emisija od otprilike 30 tona na godišnjoj razini, što predstavlja direktni doprinos smanjenju utjecaja na klimu. Ovim novim postrojenjem dizalice topline koje koriste morsku vodu eliminirali smo postojeće klima uređaje koji nagrđuju vizuru UNESCO zaštićene građevine, a tako i samu vizuru grada. Ovaj novi sustav ekvivalentan je otprilike 200 klasičnih klima uređaja. Korištenje mora kao neiscrpnog toplinskog izvora nova je inovativna tehnologija za grijanje i hlađenje kulturnih dobara. Cijena radova bez PDV-a iznosila je oko 3 milijuna kuna, dok je maksimalni iznos sredstava iz EU fondova korišten za nabavku opreme ovog sustava negdje oko 70.000 eura. Pilot projekt zamjene sustava u Kneževu dvoru ima veliki značaj jer je riječ o korištenju obnovljivih izvora energije u kulturno-povijesnom središtu, odnosno u UNESCO-ovom zaštićenom području, te će biti pokazni primjer za Adrian regiju. Ovakav projekt može se replicirati i u drugim povijesnim sredinama Adrian regije.
As for your question related to the video from Alexandroupolis, it will be filmed this week. So there is an event on 23rd and 24th in Alexandroupolis. I'm just informing you. If you want, you are more than welcome to come. Unfortunately, I will not be there. I'm at the same time in Cyprus. So,
in Cyprus?
Yes.
Okay. Cyprus also.
Okay.
I see that I don't also that you are given much class. See, are they also the person of zero or not zero? Yeah.
There are a lot of them.
Yes, we were in the classes together. 3 years ago. 3 years ago, other professionals cluster?
This was from the National Technical University of Athens.
No.
No?
Was from bioscience, Mr. Boris.
No, it was Boris, but the professor you mentioned.
He was at the University here.
AGM, okay.
He was appointed as a thematic cluster coordinator by JS. Which had a problem with
Nerium, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's it from my side. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, so hello everyone. Hrvoje was using his time very economically, but also very informatively. So thank you very much, Hrvoje, for that. I'm Anton Pfeiffer, and I will present to you our EcoNautiNET platform and EcoNautiNET Plus project, which we are now aiming to successfully complete. And also, I would like to share with all of you the platform that we created through EcoNautiNET project and what this platform can offer to all users, and especially for small and medium enterprises. So the EcoNautiNET network was envisioned as a network which connects researchers and innovators, small, medium enterprises, and business support institutions together to foster the innovation through networking and collaboration between small, medium enterprises in themselves, collaborating together with researchers and innovators, and all under the support by business support institutions. So this kind of collaboration and network was imagined to lead to market competitiveness for new and innovative ideas for eco-innovation for small and medium enterprises. So far in EcoNautiNET network, we managed to gather more than 200 small and medium enterprises and also dozens of business support institutions and researchers. And our current network brings together enterprises and researchers from Albania, from Austria, from Croatia, also from Greece and from Italy and Slovenia. So, so far we have built up a significant network, and we always like to see new members on the platform. We aim to update the platform with news that would be relevant to small and medium enterprises and also to researchers. And in that way, to foster them and to help them collaborate and make some excellent innovation, which we already saw in some of the previous lectures, mentioning ICAT, mentioning Mars Service. These are Croatian companies that collaborated with researchers and created interesting projects of catamarans that are operated solely on electricity, supported by photovoltaic systems, and this kind of eco-innovation helps a lot to decarbonize the maritime transport in wonderful natural habitats like national parks, and also in shipping on small distances between the islands, which is something that is very inherent to Croatia and to Greece. So what does this EcoNautiNET platform look like? Currently, we have really numerous profiles of our small and medium enterprises, and in each profile you can see what kind of business these small and medium enterprises are running, what are their interests, their products, and what they would like to collaborate on with both between each other and with research institutions. So this platform was built in accordance with the needs of the target group. So we actually implemented a lot of events in EcoNautiNET project, which enabled us to gather the feedback from small and medium enterprises and from researchers about what kind of functionalities they would need on the platform and how to make such a platform as user-friendly as possible. And at this point, we have the platform that offers relatively easy access with logic that is similar to any social network. And in that way, we believe it's relatively simple for users to understand and to use. For example, of course, any society, any network needs a login by the end user in order to get basic information, like what do you do, what are your interests, and what is the company you are representing. So we allow the login into EcoNautiNET platform in two ways. One is as a physical person, and the second is as legal person. So if you are signing up as a physical person, you first choose your username, give information about your email, choose the password, and accept the platform terms of use. After that, you will be accepted by our brokers, and then you can create in your personal space, so in user space, you will be able to create a company and describe it. So with the name, with the type, with address, with VAT number, and so on. What is specific about the company profile is the ability to put in the description what you do, what are your interests, specify specific interests that are inherent to this maritime sector, and according to which we notify other users of the platform that a new user of possible interest has entered our small community, which is not so small anymore. And in this way, we make sure that your entrance to the EcoNautiNET network is something that everyone in the network knows about, at least those who share the interests with you. Of course, it's very important to read and agree to terms of use. This is a free network, so free of charge. There is no entry fee, but some conditions need to be observed, and our EcoNautiNET network brokers are making sure that you don't get attacked, let's say, by some spams and any kind of profiles that are not legit. Also, once you input your data, you will get automated email for user validation. And you will just need to click on the link so that we finish the user validation process. And now we know that behind your email address there is a physical person, not a robot. Once fully accepted, you can then use your users area, which has instructions and which has the ability for you to create your company profiles, because one physical person can represent more than one company, and each company profile is then observed and checked by the brokers. If your profile is not yet approved by the broker, you will have a warning message, because only after these preliminary checks you can freely use the platform. You can always publish and edit products and services inside of your company profile. So once you define the company, you can always add additional services or additional products that your company offers. So Further on, one specific functionality is concurrent maybe to the EcoNautiNET network compared to some other societies on the market is that you can request match for your company. So this is a functionality that is inherent to any company that's accepted in the network, and it's placed in the company's list. So if you have a company and that is approved, you have online profile and you can request match for your company. What is the point of this request match? It's a functionality that enables the brokers on our EcoNautiNET network to see that you would like to be connected and your business internationalized with some companies from other countries of our network. And in that case, the broker then notifies other brokers of the EcoNautiNET network, and we try to find appropriate match for you in some other country, for example, Greece or Italy, if you're from Croatia, or Albania and Slovenia. You can always edit your services and products. For example, if you're a researcher, you can offer various laboratories that can offer some services to small medium enterprises. Or if you are a small medium enterprise and you would like to internationalize your offer of a specific service and product, you can always add additional brochures and similar materials here. You define the name of the product and its description and the type. And you can also put this on public so that everyone that is browsing the platform can see it, or you can keep it private so only people whom you're matching will see all the products. This is maybe interesting for those who would like to share some documents, but not with everyone publicly, only for the specific audience. Further on, how to search for what you need on the EcoNautiNET platform. Well, the search engine is very typical. It's placed on the homepage on the right side of the screen under the logos from the projects. And it works on keywords. So you can input any keyword that is relevant for you, for example, engineering, and then the search will provide results for companies that are dealing with engineering, for products that are mentioning engineering as an important part of the offer or service, or for example, for materials also. Some companies that deal with materials and products that concern materials are returned as a result of the search. Further on, EcoNautiNET platform offers e-learning section, and it provides e-learning materials in all the languages of the partnership. So all the languages of the countries involved have different specific learning materials, or the same learning materials translated in all the languages of the partnership. Also, there are instructive videos on the experience of EcoNautiNET platform in networking and capitalizing on eco-innovation. So you can select the language of your choice, and the result of this will be all the materials in your language of choice. You can always browse through the guides on EcoNautiNET platform functionalities if you want to check how to use some specific functionality. Also in EcoNautiNET Plus, you can follow the stream of events live in a specific area of the platform. And I would like to invite everyone to access the platform and to try and register themselves if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much for your attention. Any questions, maybe?
We do have another now. What the organization the platform last time seven. Okay, speak the unofficial. 104.
Yeah, so on the platform and the collaborating SMEs is more than 210, I think, and
so it's growing up.
It's going slowly up, but we invite more institutions and SMEs to join because with each new idea, you never know which one will actually make some new and strong development and some connection. So we would like to have new success stories in the network and for that, but we cannot do it without people. So that's why we invite all to join us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, if there is no more question, I would like to invite Professor Smiko Rudan to share with us the Nerium Plus project platform.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Great. You see, you have before starting, if possible, to inform you. Of course, we would like to see your presentation. We have also Professor Mitidakos presenting the audio in our EcoNautiNET workshop, which we had in Patras, in the Chamber of Achaia, via online, we presented the online. And also, we need to have another time to present also again, because we have a very close relation with the professional. That's by my side.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so I will speak a little bit about the project, Nerium Plus. I'm coming from this faculty, but from the Department of Naval Architecture and Ocean Engineering, and we were very interested to participate in this project. So I will say first a few words about the Nerium project and then the little extension, the project Nerium Plus. And I will try to present some results and some findings that we had throughout the project. So the limited call for this extension, it was a 6 months extension, very similar to previous projects. And these are the general goals, just to raise awareness of what we have done to promote the project outcomes, the practically use relevancy transferability of project outcomes as well. Well, this is more or less general thing. So let's start from the beginning, from the presentation of Nerium project. So the goal is written on this slide, and actually the Nerium project relates to green shipbuilding and green shipping. And speaking about this, it is very important to note that more than 80% of the international trade goes over the sea. And everybody is very much interested to have this as green as possible, if for nothing else than to save some fuel costs. And old ships should be replaced every, let's say, 20 years. So when they are being replaced by the new ships, then of course it's very interesting to make them more green. At the same time, the shipbuilders, but also the shipping companies are very traditional, and they do not like to do a lot of changes if not necessary. So business as usual is their way of operation, except that the times are changing and they are adapting to the things. Starting from the new routes over the Arctic that has no ice, recently up to the strict measures of requirements for reducing CO2 and these particles. So essentially, this the message of Nerium project to the companies in Croatia, but also in the partnering countries, which was in this case Italy, Greece, and Slovenia, was that they have to join to be ready to compete on this very large scale green transition process that's ongoing. And starting from the beginning, we had to perform several tasks at the Nerium in each country, and one of the first was to just make an overview of the current situation with the development and application of green technologies. It seems like a rather generic task, but it was not, because essentially we had to call one by one the company and ask them please to tell us what they develop or what they apply from the green technologies. So the knowledge and the application of this knowledge was very, very fragmented. Then we had to promote the cooperation related to green technologies, because of the ship itself. The ship as a product is extremely complex product, and there is a lot of possibilities to have parts of the ship green. When we speak about the shipping, then also you cannot speak about just brand new green ship that will come out of nowhere. The green ship normally means that several components of the ship gets a little bit greener and greener. So it's not easy. It is very important to promote the green technology so that each shipyard or shipbuilder or ship repair company can think of a percentage of the green technology that can apply. And also to encourage cooperation and transfer of the applicable technologies. So we had to somehow make the state of the art in each country, and as a result to accumulate this in some kind of online platform, which will serve as a tool for the cluster that would join all these companies, but in a pilot phase. Okay, so as a result, we've got the overview of companies that has at least some technologies that are green. As well, with the companies, we had their products or technologies that are available. In addition, we have made the review of local and global legislation, because what is moving the shipbuilders and shipping companies toward green is the legislation. When they have to, they do the changes. We also developed one analysis of the possible scenarios using the methodology of generating these scenarios based on the real facts and trends. And we have developed the positive, negative, and neutral possible scenarios. And the future will tell us exactly where we will go. But this is not just something that goes on without any interaction. It is something that people and government and nations decide themselves. So while we can make a theory out of it, it is essentially the social movement that will lean the society toward one of these scenarios. Also, we have developed guidelines, and this was developed in cooperation with the university in Bologna. It was important for the universities to participate in development of these guidelines for encouraging investment in research and development transfer of results. And we have done this by scanning the best practices around the world and see how they could be applied into the local environment, be it political or social or financial or whatever. So we have produced one very nice, more than 200 pages document that gives the details about the guidelines on how the shipbuilding and shipping could be more green. Finally, we had to organize some events, and there were certain events in each country, but also in Croatia, several of them. Okay, so here are some interesting results. We have made a statistical analysis of how the investment in research and development is going on. So on this left chart, we can see the several graphs. Starting from the top one, the green one, this is the Austrian investment in research and development in the percentage of GDP, which is approximately 3%. The European would be this dark blue one in the middle, which is close to 2%. And the light green is the Slovenia, which is neighboring country. And it's also, let's say, going up and down, but about 2%. In Croatia, you don't even see the line, but that's why I made this red arrow pointing is less than 1%, a little bit growing more in the future. But this is important to consider when we talk about the new green technologies. Except for the fact that in Croatia, we do not have research at least much research and development investment in the private sector, the shipping and the shipbuilding companies. There is another thing that you will hear from everybody from that sector, and this is the list of complaints. They will say that there is no material, that is difficult to get material, and that it's very expensive, that there is no time to perform the contract because there are always the problems of different kind. There is no staff, educated staff, they need more staff, they need more budget, and so on. But actually, this list of the problem is the list, this is from the research made globally. So it just means that the excuses they sometimes mention are general. It's not something that we should complain in Croatia, or we cannot do it because of these reasons. These reasons are worldwide. So the only conclusion is that they have to accept that everybody faces the same problems, and they have to just compete for the better future. And this is the innovation scale for EU countries. So in order to reduce the pollution and make the transportation of the global goods overseas more green, there should be innovations. However, Croatia is indicated by this little red arrow, which is very, very low in the European Union. So this was another point that we were communicating with the companies. We just show them that you cannot behave like Sweden or Finland or Denmark or Netherlands, which are these green on the right-hand side, if you don't start acting like that. And one of these things, one of the actions you have to do is to communicate and work together. So that's why another platform was generated, similar to what we have seen the previous ones, but just oriented more towards the shipping and shipbuilding companies. And it was the platform that serves as an example of possible ways of cooperation. It has 6, let's say, main parts. I will not go into detail. I will just mention some of those. The first one is just mentioning the Nerium Project, because this is normal. Then there is the list of companies. So far, we have 152 registered actors. The companies of different type and in different countries, interested to move around this platform and see how they can benefit out of it. There is the knowledge base included in the platform, which just presents some good practices and studies and projects. This will grow on, but it's, let's say, a little bit of motivation. The marketplace is actually the list of companies that can be easily browsed through. Then there is offer and demand matching service. So this should ideally be the good point on this platform. You see above there is what type of cooperation. You can just like choose the type of cooperation, and for example, in this case it is a strategic alliance, and then each company that says that is looking for strategic alliance will be listed here somehow to have the matching service. This works well only if the companies really believe in possibility to have the alliance in the future. If they really make the sincere need for the service, and of course if the database grows so that more and more companies are really available for matching the services. Okay, and this I will conclude with this slide. The Nerium and also Nerium Plus project is the one that promotes green technologies in shipbuilding and shipping, as I said. The online platform and this pilot cluster was the main goal of the project, along the scenario and guidelines documents. And the message we try to communicate to company that there is the enormous transition to sustainable economy, and that a lot of money will be given to those who would like to invest in research and development, who would like to develop one innovative product, such as, for example, we have the project ongoing from one small shipbuilder in Istria region, which is the biocomposite building, and things like that. So really a lot of money, a lot of opportunities will be at the table in the next years and the next decades, but only those who will not stop with their development, who will compete, have really the opportunity to go on. And we also often have to answer to the question, why do we need this platform? Why do we need to look at the internet for something? And it is very hard to reply to that, because these are people working in a real sector, having everyday problems. But then again, what's the alternative? I mean, I just answered to them, will you use phone calls, find somebody in Greece or in Italy or somewhere else? These are just the modern tools. And even if you just browse the platform, if you register a little bit, if you go through the knowledge base, you will get some additional knowledge, some additional little skills, and this will have value in the future. Okay, so this is how we try to approach to the market through this project. This little blue logo at the bottom, I'm just using the opportunity to mention that here at this institution, we just have finished a very big infrastructural project, and we have now the towing tank or the basin for towing little ship models, which is actually a great research facility. So I just use the opportunity to mention that we have 32 meters of water ready to do research and development in green shipbuilding and shipping. Okay, so that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Maybe a couple of questions, because we do have some time. It seems that in other regions we have several different platforms, slightly different use, or maybe slightly different target. It looks like an attempt to try and see what kind of approach would be most attractive. We also have some examples of success stories in news and research. So, as you already said, what was your answer to people asking, okay, I have very little time to browse the internet, why I should browse your platform? Maybe the linguistic of these platforms will have in the future some benefits for because now the article program has built up the program's database and list of platforms that will bring its funding. So do you think that maybe some different associations might rise up from this kind of
Okay, thank you for the question. Instead of my humble opinion, I will maybe present you the two facts. First one is that the leading partner in Nerium and Nerium Plus projects, they really believe in the necessity of these platforms, and they are very ambitious to make this platform live and grow, and the platform itself is just a tool for the future to come cluster of the company. So they really believe in this, and they will continue working on this. So I would say there is some future in this. This should be considered as a start, really. And another opinion is the one that we were receiving from the Joint Secretariat, the controlling body. And this is that this platform itself and the entire project is very important because it really will show, are the people from shipbuilding and shipping companies interested in this? So they will accept the possibility of failure of this idea, and then they will never again, let's say, fund something like this, but we'll look for the other ways of motivating the people from shipbuilding and shipping to cooperate and become more green. So they really are interested in seeing the results of this project. As I said, the companies tend to have the business as usual practice, and this was one effort to see if this can work, as it works very well, for example, in Scandinavia, because they make platforms and clusters on a project basis, and quite normally. They say, okay, we will invest 5% of our working time to examine one green ship project. So they do this naturally, while in the south, and there is a big gap between the north and the south, there is a need to motivate people to do something, and this project was closely monitored just to see if it works or fails. If it works, then very good. If it fails, also it is a very important feedback from our effort.
We have with us a lot of agencies and chambers which are covering exactly the south of Europe. So the live response. They want to learn, they want to have innovation procedures, but during some specific periods, they are not so up. I speak about the network of the project. We call them and we call them again. Some of them do respond, but some of them, because I think they have used to have the traditional way of working, thinking they do not make, let's say, believe so much in the network of all this kind of innovative proposals we have and we develop. Secondly, the problem is that the virus Atlas has a side down, side city. Everywhere in the area, in the region, coastal area, we have all the proper infrastructures in order to support their operation. So they are obliged to leave Atlas, for example, and go to an island in order to maintain their enterprise or their boats and their yachts. And they come on to Atlas only sometimes to do some cruises, but they usually they try to go to the islands with the tourists. The characteristic result is an island of Lefkada, that in which many the prices of Atlas are going to have their facilities and their infrastructures, because it's not easy for them. Combine it with the tourism sector, and this is one problem. Of course, if we want to motivate more, then if we maybe we have some more concrete and attractive because, as I said before, some of them are really very interested in the tender reporting procedure. They register the platform, many registrations on the platform, but I don't know in the real time, in the real world, if they do follow all this procedure or they just register because we work with the politics, the issue, for them to be active, not only to exist, but has the network, has the synergies, makes it also not only with issues with the public practice in Greece, but also with, outside our country. That's the meaning and the project. And many of them also, finalizing this, are also interested in financial issues and financial prospects because they are trying to find financial or finance methods in order to reinforce the operation of their enterprise. And this is another issue maybe that we can also take into consideration. Maybe some not financial information about them or the tools. Regarding the Chamber of Ahaya and the region, I have no other thing to declare or to state. This is the general opinion. I think the picture that we also have to know the general picture of the project because we can together with this. You know, you want to ask something more, clarify something.
Thank you. There are some enterprises that started as startups or some decades of experience in small building, and then they said, okay, let's now try to create a ship that is different, for example, biodegradable materials, also renewable energy as a source, different powertrain. But at the same time, there's a lot of people living over the sea and not yet maybe included in these trends and these opportunities. So, for us, of course, all these events and materials we have created they remain online and platforms and also on our channels. But maybe for the South, there is now the need to have more direct approach. Events which put the end users on the wish of their work. In context of what we unfortunately pandemic had to learn that this was much more online hybrid events in some urban centers.
I agree with that. And I also like first we have a very problem because when you call someone computer is very difficult. Secondly, we have the period of 6 months during summer because also in Greece we have summer for 6 months. Let's say the summer period is from May up to October. It's very difficult to find them in order to inform them or to terminate the events because they all find their business. They run their business during this period. So it's not a good period to organize, let's say, an event, gather them and inform them, even if it's virtually or private pension. Okay, this is another issue. So the main point that we mention is make the product, let's say, more attractive for them and more flexible to make them understand what is the profit, exactly the profit of the network and the operation. Because I have a personal opinion from some of the prices. Some of them are very innovative, but some of them are not. They are not active in the network. They are registered, but not very active, even if they are innovative. But some of them are in the traditional way of, let's say, work and operation. They say typically yes, I register, but then they do nothing. And this is a problem. And the main problem that I was referring before is probably the marine. But as a very big city, those small cities, the third largest city in Greece, about 300,000. But we have a marine, but we have not managed yet to analyze and to benefit from marine. It's a very big problem because we have a marine only for yachts to come, not specific, let's say, sections for infrastructures, for repair, for business. No, this is the problem. That's why they leave. They go to islands and they close there. They have better infrastructure regarding the operation of their SMEs. I don't know if it's I make it clear or understood. Say, this is the issues. The first one is the period. The second one is the problem of the way of operation of partners. Okay, we have some enterprises, some of them very innovative, and they are not operation model, and some of them also are involved with also manufacturing, robotics, combined with sector. They also do many reports to control, but in general, as a city, we have to take this problem. We must not announce because some decisions from some other authorities, but I have to mention this in order to say that for partners is an important situation. And we need more targeted and specific, let's say, data information to be addressed services in order to be informed more around immediately, and then take, let's say, the optimization of the result of their registration and their report.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I will just say that I completely agree that we have to communicate this more, not maybe during the summer when they are too much in business, but throughout the year, because we have to make them learn the new language, the language of European projects, the language of Europe, communicating to them. It is something new to them. When we had this presentation last time, which was on another meeting in Croatia, then there was a second part of this one. This was promoting the funds that really exist in Croatia for funding the small and medium enterprises. And I put emphasis on this. And even if they don't know how to start, there are people that can be asked, for example, the consultants that make projects. They can shape the idea of small enterprise into a project, a proposal. And then the money appears, then they are interested. But even before that, even before all our efforts, all the European effort, there is a need for them to understand that they can survive on the market only if they have the idea what they will do, what they will invest their effort to. If they don't believe in their product, it's not going to work. They have to work hard, as everybody else does, for 5 years, 10 years, but in the meantime, they can use a lot of funds. And this is what they have to be repeated constantly. Just don't do what your father was done when he developed the company. Now it's global world, internet, a lot of money everywhere. You have to be part of this world. So I completely agree that we have to communicate more. Then they will start to accept the new tools, the new way of thinking, the new words, and eventually projects and products.
Okay, thank you very much. So successfully period 2028, and we'll see a lot more success stories. Thank you very much.
also thank you very much insight and especially the SMI. Of course, get available on the Economic platform and channels. You can always parts and also mention presentations from other events plus